Hey everybody, in this video we are given three functions, f of x, g of x, and h of x, and for the next four examples, so 45, 46, 47, and 48, we are going to find whatever it is we're being asked. So in this particular case, I'm being asked to find f inverse of x. So if you don't know that is the notation for that, well, make sure you know. So f inverse of x, inverse of f of x. So what do we need to know? Well, f of x is the same as y. What we're going to do is we're going to switch x and y. That means we're switching the entire domain and range. Positive x for positive y, negative x's and negative y's, they all flip-flop. And that's also what makes our graph, our new graph, a reflection over the identity function, y equals x. So if we have our y-axis and our x-axis, the identity function is the line y equals x. So if you have a graph that looks like, I don't know, this, okay? It's going to give us an inverse, which will be twisted over this blue line right here. And it might look something like that right there. So if I fold it in half on the blue line, it would overlap itself. So the inverse might not be a function, but we'll do one thing at a time here. So this question's written a little funny. If we go to find the inverse of a parabola, like we're about to do, it's not going to be a function, and this notation is reserved for the function. So I'm assuming that whoever wrote this question intended to restrict the domain on that parabola. What the heck am I talking about? Let me just point this out. This is, oh no, I didn't want to erase that. This is me being like a bit of a neurotic. I know, just bear with me for a second. If I have this parabola right here, that's really the same if I analyze it graphically as 1/5 x squared plus 3/5. So that means it has a vertical compression and it was shifted up 3/5. Okay, so there you go. So something like this with whatever scale in question. But in order for the inverse to be f inverse of x, in order for the inverse to be able to be using function notation, we have to restrict our parabola in question to likely the right side of it only. So from 0 until infinity. That would normally be done. It's not written like that in the directions here, which is, you know, I didn't write this, so I'm just being a little critical. But that would have to be restricted, because otherwise the inverse is going to be this kind of situation, and that's not a function, and you can't call it f inverse of x. So that's the end of my like whining, but I guess what I can do to appease myself a bit is I will add that restriction, okay? So I'm going to put a little note right here for f of x that the domain is that x is greater than or equal to 0. That will mean later that y is greater than or equal to 0. I'm restricting the domain on just that one. Okay, so f of x means y. Switch x and y, and then we're going to solve for new y, and then y becomes f inverse of x if, again, the whole function thing, right? Basically, if something is 1-to-1, passes vertical and horizontal line test, then its inverse is automatically a function. So that is what's going on. So I'm going to erase these notes. So if you needed a little clarification, that's what I'm about to do. There's my notes, and let's go and do this. So I'm given, right? I'm given essentially y equals, I'm just rewriting it, x squared plus 3 over 5. So now I'm going to start my work. I'll start over here. I'm going to switch it to x equals y squared plus 3 over 5. I want to get y alone. Multiply both sides by 5. 5x equals y squared plus 3. Subtract 3 from each side. 5x minus 3 equals y squared Okay. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Normally, it's plus minus, right? When you take the square root yourself, I'm just moving which is on which side, okay? The square root of 5x minus 3. However, since x was greater than or equal to 0, that would mean now y is greater than or equal to 0. So that means y equals just the positive square root, 5x minus 3. And then I can name that my inverse. So f inverse of x equals the square root of the quantity 5x minus 3. Voila, that is it. That is my f inverse function. That is the end of the problem. All right, so I know I went off on a little tangent. I just feel like it mattered. So it might not matter on a multiple choice test, but deep down, on some level, it matters for someone out there. So if it made a difference for one person out there based on what they have to do, then it was worth it. That's the end of this question. So if you got it good, then go ahead. Thumbs up. Nope. Thumbs down. Please ask me questions, comments, whatever. Don't be shy. I like to answer questions. And check the description box or playlist that's up on your screen right now for more support on all this. I'm going to see if I have a specific playlist of inverse videos. I might, and if I do, I'll put that on the screen at the end right now as well. That's it for now. Adios.